I'm going to be talking to riders I know, find out how they actually train, how they think about racing and what they're working on and what they're still trying to figure out. First up, Jonah Jenkins is a track sprinter with the Welsh national team. He lives in Hackney. I've known him for a few years. Good kid, bit cheeky, but he really knows his stuff. He's got big goals and he's also got a very focused analytical approach to training and racing. He's not just showing up hoping it works. So I hope you enjoy hearing about where he's at, where his confidence is, how his training's been going and what he's still trying to figure out. So saddle up and enjoy Jonah. Tell us who you are.
My name's Jonah. I'm a track sprinter. I train around here all the time down at Lee Valley. I'm on the Welsh national team and I'm the current Junior Keirin National Champion.
So how did you get into cycling?
Just before lockdown in February 2020, got my first ever carbon road bike, started hitting the hills, Swains Lanes, Ali Pally, Muswell Hill, just doing reps on reps, and just fell in love with it during lockdown. And I'd be out hours and hours doing 20, 25 hours a week as a little 13-year-old, just riding around London.
But now you're a track sprinter. So how do you go from Swains Lane to track sprinting?
I was always a bit of a bigger build. So I was down here doing the Monday night track sessions that British Cycling used to run. I was always quite decent in the shorter races, and I noticed I was like preferring kind of the more sprint efforts. And just as time went on and I got into track more, I'd be doing sprint efforts. And I remember there was one week where I was here and I saw Blaine Hunt, who's now Paralympic silver medalist, multiple time world champion, world record holder. Nicky told me to follow him in a flying 200, and from then on it's been all sprint. From 2022 I fully committed. I was being coached by Blaine and then I got into NSR. And then from there, I joined the Welsh junior team and I just fought through the ranks with them.
How's the Welsh connection work for a boy that's grew up in Hackney?
Yeah, I'm Welsh with my dad and my granddad and my grandma. They're both from North Wales, up in London though.
So training, what's this winter actually look like? Walk us through a week.
This winter's been quite the slog with my training. I'm currently doing 3 gym sessions, maybe 2-3 track sessions and a bit of endurance, maybe up to 5 hours a week. So what that usually looks like is Monday I'll be in the gym, Tuesday I'm usually on track, on Wednesday I'll have some sort of endurance session that usually comes in the form of some turbo efforts. Thursday I'll have off. Friday I'll usually be on track. Saturday will be a double day, and then Sunday I'll either be in the gym or on track.
So you've brought in more structured gym work. What's it been like? How's it fit alongside the track?
I mean, in this last block through the winter, the only focus has been in the gym. When we're in a general prep, we are pretty much only focused on the gym, and then the track is like an additional part of that. So in the gym, I've been there 3 times a week. I've been on the leg press. I've been doing cleans and clean variations, whether that is low pulls, high pulls, just trying to build on that strength. Every week I've been focusing on just getting stronger day by day and how I can push myself a bit further.
So how's this training feel right now compared to like this time last year?
The current block I'm in is harder than anything I've ever done before. It's just a slog. Every day you wake up and you're in pain, but that's part of the game, you know. And there's things to kind of enjoy in that, and the little gains you get in the gym. But it's not like, I mean, I'm lifting more, I'm going better on track, but yeah, it ain't easy.
So how has riding with teammates been?
I really enjoy riding with the Welsh team. We're in quite like an awkward position because I try and get there as much as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't feel like enough. I mean, every month I'm spending about a week there, whether that's in Cardiff for a week and then training with the boys every day, or coming up for a weekend or a day. But it just doesn't feel like enough when you're going into these big races like senior nationals. So yeah, it's like a really awkward mix where we're at now.
Pre-race nerves, how do you manage them? Does it depend on the event that you're doing?
I get really nervous, like nervous beyond belief. I dread race days. But recently, like especially in training, I've started to kind of like understand that fear and realise I always perform better with a bit of anxiety. So like getting rid of it is pointless, because then you've got no want, you've got no drive, you've got no passion, because that fear is just you wanting to do the best you can and like you holding expectations for yourself. So just get your headphones on, get your head down and realise that bit of nerves is actually adrenaline and good for you.
Do you use self-talk at all during your training or racing efforts? Do you have any words that you say to yourself to sort of push you along?
Back in Nationals 2025, Senior Nationals, I had a very, very stacked Keirin. I was against Hamish Turnbull, who's an Olympic silver medalist. And I had like this big, big race plan planned out. I drew P6 and I was bricking it. And one of my mate's coaches came up to me and just said, Jonah, mate, stop stressing, just ride your bike. And now I've got that written down my stem. It's something that I always just like try and remind myself I'm there because I love what I do. And it just kind of helps me ground myself and get rid of that fear.
So this season, big goals, and how is that shaping what you're doing in training at the moment?
This year we've got a huge goal, right? We're trying to go qualify for the Commonwealth Games. 3-4 years ago, there was no such thing as a Welsh men's squad, and now there is. So it's just an insane goal we've set ourselves. And we know what we've got to do, and we've got to qualify by doing the team sprint. We've got to prove a top 6 to be like medal potential for us to like qualify a spot for Team Wales. So our focus has pretty much all been on team sprint. I'm the P1 for Wales. So I'm riding small gears and trying to accelerate hard. So a lot of my training is based towards that. I'm having at least one session a week doing starts, whether that's overgeared starts, short starts, or even sometimes longer starts. Then I have one acceleration session, whether that's rolling 3/4, power jumps, late excels off the fence. And then finally on my third session, I'll either be doing something really big geared, so like overgeared rolling 500s, flying hundreds, maybe, or maybe some like motorbike type efforts if I can get one.
So you're still young. What parts of your development are you still trying to figure out? And obviously jumping up from, you know, what youth a couple of years ago to junior and now doing senior races. Is there anything that you've noticed in yourself that you need to work on still?
I think a really big thing for me is like backing myself. Like going into a race day, I just switch off a lot of the time. And I might be racing someone who's qualified 1 or 2 tenths quicker than me. And I'll just be like, oh, there's no way I'm going to win. I've already lost. He's quicker than me. And my coach will sit me down and be like, Jonah, bring it to him. You know, you've got to race. You've got to race to your strengths. You've got to make it yours. And recently that's kind of been paying off. Glasgow Sprint Series round 4, I qualified 8th and finished 2nd. So I think another thing I've really got to work on is just my physical development. I'm still quite small. I need to put on a lot of timber just to be able to like really accelerate and push the bike to its limits in the back end of my lap.
When you look at other sprinters or other riders, what are you looking at? Their tactics, their technique?
If I'm looking at a rider in a match sprint on video, I'm trying to like figure out what they're thinking, what they're doing, and the reasons they're making their moves, whether that be going early, leaving it late, trying to accelerate using height. But I think if I'm looking at a standing start, I'm purely looking for like technique. How are they being snappy? How are they rolling on that second, that third, and that fourth rev as fast as possible? How can they transition from the start into the acceleration as soon as possible? Yeah.
What do people get wrong about like track sprinters?
What people get wrong about track sprinters is that we're similar to endurance riders on the top speed. The only difference between a sprinter and an endurance rider is the acceleration. I've seen Belgian endurance riders ride a 9.6 flying 200, but they wouldn't be able to get on a team sprint for a reason.
So I would say that you're pretty analytical. How do you balance the data and the structure with the feel and the instinct?
I feel like I balance kind of like the data and my feel by understanding not every day is a fast day. You know, for us, we train to be fast for 1 day, 2 days or a week, you know. So in the training, if 1 week I'm feeling like rubbish and I'm riding really slow and the data's telling me that, I won't get my head down because I know Like it's all just a part of the process for the long run. And it's all, as a sprinter, it's all about trusting that process and knowing that you're really going to start opening up in that last month going into your race.
So this sort of leads on. So what information matters most when you're judging whether your training's working? Are we looking at sort of power numbers? Is it coach feedback, or is it just pure lap times?
When I'm training, I don't really like to look at power that much. It's a good tool, but it's only good for comparing the same efforts. But having a high peak power doesn't mean you're riding fast necessarily. I think the biggest thing I'm looking for is like the feedback from my coach and that conversation, and then we'll be looking at split times. Especially through like this winter block, we do 2 weekly monitoring efforts, and we keep them on the same gear in the same effort, and we standardize everything as much as possible. Put it on a big spreadsheet so we can see how I'm training and how that like matches up to the fatigue that I'm feeling, essentially.
So who is a coach, and how much contact do you have? Is it daily contact, hourly contact?
I've got 2 incredible coaches. I've got Rachel Draper, who's my sprint coach, and then I've got Chris Lewis, who's the Welsh gym coach. They're both in contact a lot, and I'm speaking to them pretty much daily. Any videos I've got, I'll send them over with a split and my feedback, and then I'll get their feedback on that, what they think of my opinion and what their opinion of the effort was. And then with Rachel, we're on the phone once a week, probably once every other week, just have like a big general catch up on how my training's looking. And if there's anything I need to say for the next few weeks.
So when something's not moving the way you expected it, how do you respond and how do you adjust? It could be, a week's not gone well, or a gym session's not gone that well. Like, how do you deal with that?
I think when I'm dealing with a hard session, it's just getting your head down and understanding it's part of the process. Not every day is going to be good. And to have the really good sessions, you've got to have just as many really bad sessions. So I think having those awful sessions, you've just got to understand it's part of the game, and you've just got to enjoy them, because I think Sophie Keltwood said, pain's a privilege.
Yeah.
And there's said perfectly, you've got to understand you're privileged to be able to train this hard and feel the pain. That was a bit too
No, that
that
was
was
good.
very David Brenty.
That was good. All right, finally. Okay. So looking ahead now, obviously this is going to go on the internet for everyone to see forever and ever and ever. What would you want your future self to say about what's happening now?
So what do I want to hear from myself in the future? What do I want to hear from myself in the future? I think if future Jonah could say something to him now, it would be keep working, I reckon. Like we've got some big goals ahead, and just sometimes just having that get your head down and carry on is what you need. So I think future me would tell me to just get my head down and commit to the next few months of pain.
All right.
Is that all good?
Yeah. Cheers.